People think good conversation is about waiting for your turn to speak. They think listening means staying quiet while someone else talks. Most people believe they're decent listeners because they nod, make eye contact, and don't interrupt. But psychology says the majority of people aren't listening at all. They're rehearsing, judging, or filtering everything through their own experiences. And the moment you realize this, it changes how you see every interaction you've ever had. The reasons reveal a lot about human nature and why true connection feels so rare. Let's break down what psychology actually says about why most people don't actually listen. 1. Most people are in constant self-referential mode. Psychologists call this egocentric bias. When someone shares a story, your brain immediately scans for a similar experience from your own life. You're not absorbing their perspective. You're translating their words into your narrative. This happens because your default mode network, the part of your brain active during rest, is wired to process information through the lens of self. It's automatic, it's exhausting, and it means real listening requires actively overriding your brain's natural setting. 2. People listen to respond, not to understand. Research shows that while someone is talking, most listeners are formulating their reply within the first few seconds. Your nervous system is primed for your turn. You're tracking keywords, waiting for an opening, planning what you'll say next. This isn't connection, it's a performance, and the speaker can feel it even if they can't name it. That subtle distance you sense in conversations, that's the gap between being heard and being understood. 3. Emotional regulation often depends on redirecting attention back to yourself. When someone shares something vulnerable or complex, it triggers discomfort. Your brain wants relief. So you interrupt with advice, pivot to your own story, or minimize their feelings with phrases like "at least" or "everything happens for a reason." Psychologists call this conversational narcissism. It's not malicious, it's a defense mechanism, but it kills intimacy, because people don't need you to fix them, they need you to witness them. 4. Social wiring makes us compete for airtime and validation. Humans are status-driven creatures. In group settings especially, people use conversations to establish relevance, display intelligence, or assert dominance. This is why someone always one-ups your story, why people cut you off to prove they already knew what you were going to say. Your brain interprets speaking as winning and listening as losing. This survival instinct made sense in ancestral environments. In modern relationships, it creates loneliness. 5. Cognitive load and overthinking prevent presence. Most people are managing multiple mental threads during a conversation. They're thinking about work, scrolling mentally through their to-do list, or replaying an earlier argument. Psychologists call this cognitive interference. Your attention is fragmented, and listening, real listening, requires undivided cognitive resources. When you're distracted, you catch words but miss meaning. You hear content but miss emotion. The person in front of you becomes background noise to your inner monologue. 6. Empathy is a skill most people never develop beyond surface level. True listening requires holding space for someone else's reality without collapsing it into your own. Research shows this involves mirror neurons, perspective taking, and emotional regulation all working together. But most people stop at sympathy, which is just feeling bad for someone while maintaining distance. Empathy means feeling with them, and that's uncomfortable. So people avoid it. They listen just enough to seem polite, but not enough to truly see you. So if you're someone who notices when people aren't really listening, you're not being oversensitive. You're observant, emotionally intelligent, and wired for depth. And once you see this pattern, you can't unsee it. But you also become the kind of person who listens differently, who offers presence instead of advice, who makes people feel like they matter simply by paying attention. If you want more psychology videos that explain the parts of you nobody talks about, hit that subscribe button right now, because the next video might explain why you feel everything so deeply.